The richest billionaire in the country, Gideon Reeves, casually walks into a convenience store for a pack of cigarettes, completely unaware that this ordinary stop will launch him into an extraordinary battle against crime and corruption. As he borrows a lighter, a robber storms in, turning a mundane moment into a nightmare. Gideon tries to call the police, but no one picks up. Repeatedly. When the robber sees the call, he knocks Gideon out cold. Trying to de-escalate, Gideon offers his wallet, claiming the cash inside could support the man for half his life. But then the robber realizes who he's robbing: Gideon, the billionaire on the magazine cover right in front of him. Just as the situation escalates, Gideon's bodyguard bursts in. A scuffle breaks out, and in the chaos, the robber fires his gun. The bodyguard is shot and collapses. The robber flees. Stunned and grief-stricken, Gideon finally connects to 911, but it's too late. Furious, he rushes to the police station, only to find a dysfunctional department where no one cares. A female officer bluntly tells him they're underfunded, lacking basic ammunition. If the system won't help, Gideon will buy the system. 1 month later, a heated city council meeting, he makes his move. He offers $100 million to buy the precinct, enough to erase their $90 million in pension debt and still upgrade equipment. The mayor resists, warning a civilian can't control law enforcement. Gideon's response is colder than steel. Refuse, and I'll run against you in the next election and fund my own campaign. Faced with this threat, the mayor falls silent. News of Gideon's takeover explodes, and his company's stock soars. Within weeks, the 13th precinct becomes the most advanced police unit in the nation. New software, real-time crime reporting apps, drones, tactical AI, and armored cars transform the precinct. Gideon's first order: find a robber who killed his bodyguard within 72 hours. The numbers are staggering. 13,289 officers now serve nearly 2.9 million people, each officer covering 215 residents. But with Gideon's tech, the impossible starts to look achievable. Citizens now report crimes through the app, generating instant response routes. Bulletproof vests are 50 times stronger, stun guns use nanotech, and new patrol vehicles are impossible to outrun. When an officer named Teresa receives an alert, she races to the scene. A suspect tries to flee, but the system recalculates, guiding her to cut him off. She captures him in under 3 minutes. Impressed, Gideon gives her the mission to find the killer. But the suspect fled in a white car, just one among 77,000 in the city. Using AI and drone surveillance, they narrow it to 6 vehicles. One man, Andre, becomes the prime suspect. Police track him down, but he escapes after shooting an officer. The mayor attacks Gideon's credibility, calling for his resignation. Gideon refuses to back down. Instead, he upgrades the drones with stun guns. Teresa enlists informants. Soon, Gideon uses data analytics to track Andre's movement patterns over several hours. A drone finally locates Andre amid a gang fight. The drone stuns one attacker and identifies Andre, but he escapes again. Teresa gives chase and corners him inside a house, only to be surrounded by thugs. Backup arrives. A flashbang forces Andre out, but he grabs a hostage. Teresa, trusting Gideon's tech, fires the stun gun twice. Andre drops. She's promoted to chief inspector. Gideon's success makes headlines again, and downloads of his app skyrocket. To demonstrate its power, Gideon live streams a stage break-in, presses the alert button, and police arrive within 10 seconds. But crime doesn't rest. At that exact moment, a pharmacy is robbed. The suspect car hits a girl before vanishing. Gideon is gutted by the mother's tearful cries. Enraged, he orders the team to capture the criminal, Jack, a repeat offender who's pulled 5 heists stealing anesthetics. A dog tracks a gloved Jack discarded, leading police to an abandoned house. Jack's car explodes, injuring the dog. The car had been modified. Only 4 chop shops in town handle that type of work. One mechanic cracks under Teresa's interrogation, revealing Jack is a street racer with a red sports car. Catching him will take more than speed, it'll take planning. Gideon turns to his R&D team, unleashing a prototype drone. Patrol cars identify Jack's car, but he senses the heat and speeds off. A high-speed chase erupts. Teresa gives pursuit, but when Jack hits a pedestrian, she stops to help. He escapes. A drone picks up his trail, but soon loses signal. Teresa realizes police are constrained by public safety. Jack isn't. That night, Gideon visits Teresa at home and sees her son playing with toy motorcycles. Inspiration strikes. The next day, Gideon unveils his new weapon, 8 modified motorcycles with coordinated AI pursuit tech. When Jack reappears, the motorcycles form a trap, laying spikes that make his car crash. He flees on foot and is stunned. Arrested, Gideon and Teresa visit the injured girl in the hospital. Her mother tearfully thanks them, but Teresa's joy is short-lived. Her ex-husband, now leading a task force investigating Gideon's district, warns her the mayor's building a case. Meanwhile, 5 robbers hit a jewelry store. One suspect, Pete, is caught but won't talk. Gideon refuses to let him go. He builds a custom lie detector chair using astronaut tech and streams location videos until Pete breaks. Using his info, SWAT raids the gang's hideout. It's empty, but the place contains evidence of explosives and a UV fingerprint trail pointing to their next target. Police prepare an ambush. When the criminals arrive and try to blow up a truck, officers disable the detonator just in time. Another case closed. But things take a personal turn when a woman is mugged at an ATM. But the attacker doesn't take cash. Instead, he shoots a note onto the screen. "I want to meet Gideon." The man, Robert, had tried dozens of times to report his case through the app, only to be dismissed as crazy. Now desperate, he committed a crime just to get Gideon's attention. His daughter was poisoned by drugs, and the dealers are still out there. Gideon accepts the case. Teresa shows him how hard it is to bust drug networks. Dealers use kids, never touch the cash or product. Gideon's solution? Tracking powder and AR glasses that follow the trail of contaminated money. Officers monitor the city, and all data is sent back for analysis. The densest trail leads to a property owned by Marcos, a man previously charged twice but never convicted. A raid finds drugs, but Marcos claims the stash isn't his. Technically, he's right. The warehouse falls just outside his property line. The case hits a dead end. Later that night, Robert storms off to confront Marcos alone. Gideon tracks him to an abandoned building. Officers move in, but the situation turns into a hostage standoff. Using data, night vision glasses, and tactical positioning, they stun both men and arrest Marcos. Days later, 2 thugs chase an elderly gambling addict into the precinct. That man? Gideon's estranged father, Joe. He owes $25,000 to mob boss Battaglia after betting against South Korea. Joe offers to help bring Battaglia down in exchange for protection, but Gideon doesn't trust him. He thinks Joe is after money. Eventually, he relents and outfits Joe with a carbon nano GPS watch and hidden mic. At the bar, Battaglia's goons attack Joe until he mentions a diamond buyer. The deal is set. Meanwhile, Gideon suspects Joe will flee and tracks the watch, only to find it dumped. Joe has vanished. Teresa believes he'll finish the deal. Gideon deploys stealth drones. They follow Battaglia to an amusement park. There, Joe turns on Battaglia, who draws a gun. Police swoop in and arrest him, but Joe escapes again. At a tech showcase, Gideon is nearly assassinated. Saved by his bulletproof vest and Teresa's reflexes, he realizes someone bigger is pulling the strings. In a dark warehouse, a group of masked men receives orders from a faceless voice. One questions the mission and is shot on spot. The rest obey. Soon, a masked man posts a video online, declaring war on Gideon, promising to expose him. The media erupts. The mayor panics. For his safety, Teresa hides Gideon in a villa, but enemies are closing in. Armed men appear. They jam signals, plant explosives, and begin breaking through. Gideon sends his cleaning robot to relay a distress signal beyond the jam zone. Back at HQ, Hamilton receives multiple reports of masked men causing chaos, crashing cars, triggering false alarms. It's all a distraction. At the villa, Gideon uses his surveillance system embedded in new model cars. Though warned never to use it this way, he has no choice. Meanwhile, the robot is smashed, but Gideon leaves behind a military-coded message. Teresa recognizes it. Officers storm in with flashbangs. The attack is repelled, but a new threat looms. Hamilton identifies the masked mastermind, Danny Hobby, one of the world's top hackers, and her former colleague. The captured thugs confess they were meant to meet Danny, who has now taken full control of the city's infrastructure. The chief himself leads the pursuit, but a truck slams into his car. Teresa notices every light is green. Danny has hacked the traffic grid. Chaos erupts across the city. Police vehicles fail. Drones attack their own. Gideon and the scientists deploy jamming tech to regain control. Hamilton tracks Danny to a moving train. Teresa and Gideon board and find Danny's mobile server, but the lights cut. When they return, Danny has a gun pointed at Gideon. Just then, the train jolts. Teresa fires. Danny collapses. The system is back under control. On Danny's computer, they find blueprints for more attacks. They race to a press event where the mayor is speaking. An automated sniper locks onto him. Gideon and Teresa arrive just in time to stop the shot. Chicago is safe for now, but Gideon knows this is just the beginning. So, if you find this kind of content worth your while, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe for future uploads. See you in the next one.